Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play the Journeyman Project 2, Buried in Time. Alright, so we've made it into the King's Chamber! And now that the guards are gone, we'd explore around. But, for right now, trust me, we're going to leave the chamber. We're going to come back here, but we're going to do this in order that's a little more efficient for what I want. So, for now, let's leave. If we try to go up top... you'll see that it's shut. We cannot go up this way. So back down we go. Now this should be where I want to be. So now we're in the king's study, basically.
This must be the study. When the king stayed here, it would be his throne room. In his absence, it would be used for receiving visitors, and right now, I would guess, planning the defense of the castle.
Yep, you can see right here, you got the maps laid out. Drinks, of course. First council. Come over here. We got a couple of books that we can read, so we got some reading to do. Now, we can try to read... I suppose if you knew what this was, you could read it, but for us, it's kind of, it's especially for me, it's foreign. So, this is one of the instances where you can use the Translate biochip. Now, technically, this is not 100% necessary, but it can give you some flavor text as well as maybe a hint or two. So, we'll go ahead and activate it. The way it works is you can just hover your mouse over, and then at the top, it'll translate it for you. So, 22 May... 1203. The war is not going well. Philip's troops have taken Gournay and Conches and have set up camp on the Bernieres Peninsula. I'm going to mispronounce things, I'm sorry. With such victories under his belt, it shall not be long before he gathers the confidence to attack Chateau Guillard. To be honest, King John is less of a strategist than ever Richard was, and I fear that he shall not be able to halt Philip's advancement. It saddens me to see territory won by the Lionheart in fierce, bloody battle, lost so quickly at the hands of a weaker man. 11 August 1203. I was awakened this balmy August morning by the sound of clashing armor and men screaming. The inevitable has come to pass. Philip Augustus's troops have attacked the garrisons along the scene. Sign? He has already gained much ground. So sudden and fierce was the assault, as our defenses were weakened in the onslaught. It is likely that the island fort shall fall before relief arrives. If so, Philip will lay in for the siege. Fortunately, our supplies are ample, and we can hold out for many months without relief if necessary. I sent a letter to King John to inform him of the situation. 22 October 1203. A heroic show of force was mounted by the king's forces this morning. 300 knights, 3,000 horsemen, and 4,000 foot soldiers under the Earl of Pembroke converged on the entrenched Normans, who defended their positions tenaciously. At one point, the siegers appeared ready to flee under the drive of the assaulting forces, but, alas, it was not enough. Philip's men held their ground, and Pembroke's men were forced to retreat. If 7,000 soldiers can't force the Normans from the trenches, the best we can hope to do is hold them at bay. 12 January 1204. One of my advisors just told me that he has discovered the perpetrator behind several robberies at the castle. He said that his investigation required him to speak with the blacksmith, who was not himself available. But the smith's apprentice was available. The apprentice let on that when the smith is hired to make a lock and key, he often keeps the mold used to cast the key. It was then that my advisor realized he had stumbled upon the perpetrator. He immediately searched the premises, whereupon he discovered the ill-gotten goods and several key... he discovered several key molds. I am distressed that in this time when our very survival depends upon the cooperative efforts of every member of this group, this greedy opportunist is thinking only of himself. It pains me not to be able to make an example of him, but it would only worsen the already waning morale and leave us in the middle of a siege without a blacksmith. Instead, I have chosen to give the smith a stern warning for now. His real punishment shall have to wait. Traitor! 15 February 1204. The castle food supplies are getting desperately low. All our hopes lie in a relief effort devised by King John. While troops led by William Marshall occupy the siegers from the landward side, supplies are to be snuck up to the castle from the sign. If the plan doesn't work, our supplies shall be gone within 2 weeks, and the castle shall fall soon after. The outer bailey already has been severely weakened. 6 March 1204. More than 2 weeks at that point. 3 weeks. It has become increasingly difficult to find the time to write in my journal. In fact, I am only writing now because this may be the last chance I get to do so. Despite a valiant effort, King John's relief effort failed. And right on the heels of this tragedy comes another. The outer bailey has fallen. There seems to be little we can do to stop Philip's forces. The few men that are still alive are already starving, and yet we will now have to cut back rationing to 1 cup of grain per man on every 3rd day. If we don't get relief soon, the castle is doomed. I have taken the precaution of sequestering everything of value in the hidden storage room, as King John requested in his last letter to me, and destroying the key. The letter itself also had to be destroyed, as it contained information on the whereabouts of the hidden storage room. And that certainly was his last entry. We have one more book here. Private Journal of Roger de Lasky, 1196 to 1202. That's 8 years old? Is that right? Good lord. Right? I'm doing the math right. 4 years. No, 6 years old? Wait a minute. Is my brain not working? That seems weird. That's only a 6-year difference. I don't know why I said 8. Math. 17 May 1980. Sorry. This is just the journal from this time to this time. I'm thinking of like a tombstone, like RIP. R.I.P. lived only 6 years. No, this is just the journal from that time. Good lord. Alright, 17 May 1196. I arrived today at the glorious Chateau Guillard, the care of which has been entrusted me by my Lord King Richard while he is away on the Crusades. Nor shall I consider this no small honor, as my lord regards this saucy castle as his daughter and only child. Although, admittedly, I don't know whether to call myself constable or nanny. This magnificent castle sits high atop a ridge of the Les Andelys Mountains, looking down defensively over Normandy's Seine River Valley. Here it stands before God and all, a constant taunting reminder to Philip Augustus of his losses to our most valiant, Coeur de Lion, and though the castle's hastily built walls are made of butter, I do not believe that Philip will strike at the taunt. He knows better than to try to take King Richard's most cherished possession. Nevertheless, I shall carry out my duty with all due ceremony. 7 April 1199. I learned today of the passing of a great warrior. The lion heart beats no more. Long live the king. He shall be greatly missed. However, being so sudden and unforeseen, King Richard's death has left England without a king, and Chateau Guillard in a precarious position. Should Philip Augustus learn of King Richard's demise, I don't doubt he shall. He won't waste time in attempting to retake those lands lost to my lord, beginning with the saucy castle. To tell the truth, he's been waiting some time for this opportunity. Until a new king is chosen, whether it be Richard's brother John or his young nephew Arthur, I can only act according to my best judgment. Now, as always, preparedness is a soldier's best defense. Thus, I fortified the sign and built a palisade around the island fort. I have even had a lock made for the entrance to a hidden storage chamber, the key for which I hid in a secret compartment of the armory in the king's bedchamber. Armoire of the king's bedchamber. 11 June 1200. Sadly, our situation at Chateau Guillard has not improved since King John assumed the throne. The terms of the Treaty of Les Goulets, Les Goulettes, I know that's not how you pronounce it, Les Goulets, are an insult to the English people and to the memory of King Richard the Lionheart. In addition to 20,000 marks relief, our noble king also has returned the Vexin to Philip Augustus. Oops, I went up. Philip Augustus. It makes no sense. If relief was paid, Philip because the Normans held the advantage is only that much greater now. How could he who once fought at his brother's side give back so easily the spoils of their efforts? Spoils for which English blood was spilled. It is not my position to question the king's actions, but anger consumes me. John has indeed earned the nickname Soft Sword. And yet, miraculously, Chateau Guillard remains under, every time I see that word, I don't know, like, how do I start to pronounce it, like, Angevin rule? Perhaps John could not bear the thought of giving away King Richard's only, progeny, I don't know that, only progeny. However, with Richard gone and 20,000 marks of English currency to finance his troops, Philip shall surely try to change that. God knows he has never been one to honor a treaty. 16 April 1202. It took longer than I thought, but Philip's obsession has finally become more than he can bear. The traitors' feigned support for the Lusignans has given him the excuse he was looking for to declare war upon the royal house of England, and so he has begun his quest to restore the Norman Empire and his name. Oh, and that's it. And then, of course, the siege happens. So, that's all the reading we need to do for that. Quite a bit, I know. Let's take a look around more at the room itself. And, of course, bring Arthur back up. More books here, but we cannot read those. Somewhat luckily, I think. It's enough reading for right now. We can actually look at the table here. Think of our strategy. Oh, how we're going to survive this. My assessment, we're boned. Now, if we look over here in the fireplace, a very common place to discard things that you don't want to be seen, we will find a burned letter. So the person here did a very poor job of making sure that this got burned. Part of this letter remains unburned. To read it, click on its icon in the inventory controls area. I lied. We need to translate biochip one more time here. Short bit of reading, trust me. 27 February 1204. I am grieved to have learned that my relief plan did not succeed. Philip's troops have proven to be more formidable than I anticipated. Nevertheless, it is imperative that you do everything in your power to hold Chateau Guillard, as I am already in the process of reorganizing another assault to dislodge the invaders. Due to the providence of my late brother Richard, it could take some time to locate the necessary resources, but rest assured, Constable, relief shall come soon. In the event that the castle should fall before relief arrives, I ask that you put everything of value in the hidden storage room which lies, and it's kind of burned here, secret panel, doors of the besieged castle. Burn this letter. So, there's a hidden secret somewhere, and there's a little bit of a clue to it. Alright, we can go ahead and turn that off now. Let's kind of look around here before we go to that door. Can't really see too much out the window, unfortunately. Just looking around for any spots where Arthur might comment on something. I don't know where they all are. Now, we could open this door, or we could make a save first, which, you know what that means. Alas, ye have no weapon. Pity. Why don't we have some kind of weapon? Well, I guess if we're just here to do research, but I mean, for us, if we're investigating, again, I guess we're still not allowed regardless. If we killed this knight, for all we know, that could cause a problem too. So, anyways, Agent 5 deaths registered at 10:42 a.m. Cause of death. Despite warnings, Agent 5 ventured into an occupied area of Chateau Guillard where he encountered a battle-hardened soldier trained to kill first and ask questions later. The soldier performed his duty admirably. The next of kin have been notified. I just always think it's funny that in the cutscene there, he clearly, again, like, stabs us in the face. But here, it's like we fall into the ground, like, oh no, I've fallen, I can't get up. And he's about to just drive it through our head. So let's restore before he does so. Alright, let's see what Arthur has to say.
This should be the main door to the keep. It would usually put the entrance on the upper level because the narrow stairway to the door would make attackers more vulnerable and the keep easier to defend.
Not really so much of like a hint. I almost expected him to say like, there might be people that way. We might not want to go this way, but this is why you save constantly if it was your first time actually playing, because you literally can just like walk up and like, oh, there's a guy there. And actually on that note, if I do this correctly, you can actually cheese it slightly by opening the door and then if you quickly, and I mean quickly turn, you have a split second to do so, you can make it shut the door, which is just kind of funny. You could also cloak just in time. The problem is when you do that, you're stuck in front of the person and they'll just continue to stand there and do their idle animation. It'll just loop. But this guy's idle animation is about 0.3 seconds, so cloaking doesn't really do you any good there. You could do it against that other guard we ran into the first time, like the one with the mace at the bottom of the other one. You could cloak and just stand there for a while. And then you could uncloak and move. You get more time on that guy. But this guy, it's basically an instant death if you're not ready. But basically, we just straight up can't go that way. There's nothing we can do about that. It's a dead end, quite literally. So now, let's go back out here. Now we're going to go down to the very bottom this time. We are going to head back to the King's Chamber now that we've gotten some clues, but I do want to show off something. If we come down here, watch carefully.
Gage, that's the one! That's the one who messed with my sculpture!
Now we get definitive evidence that, yes, there is another agent out here. And again, most likely the one responsible. We couldn't get quite a good look at them, but as soon as they saw us, they booked it. But now it's like, now we know for sure. There's a footprint, there's some leftover evidence. Okay, like, this is like, we actually see, oh, there they are right now. But we are not fast enough to catch them.
It looks like the supplies are pretty depleted.
As we read in the journal, yes, it is depleted.
Wow, you look at those kegs. Probably not much left in them this far in the siege. What I'm trying to figure out is where do you put the tap?
Oh, where do you put the tap, bro? You want to get wasted. Now, they were standing over here, which is a locked chest. Now, we do have this copper key. You can see it shifts when we hover over it. It works. If you look inside, nothing. Now that seems kind of odd, right? We went through this whole trouble of making this key, and there's nothing here? Something seems kind of fishy. I don't think there's anything else of note in here. So, let's go back to the King's Chamber now. So, if you recall from the journal and the letter and whatnot, he was warned to basically, if we're going down, stash everything. So, there's a good chance that what's below down there is a secret storage room, but we need to open it up somehow. And we know that this key is necessary. Oh, I went one too many. So coming back into the King's Chamber, let's take a look around now. If we go back to where we first came in,
those seats built in the window were usually the only furniture in a tower. Furniture was rare, or reserved for the aristocracy like our king here. In fact, if you did have furniture, it was generally a flat chest that doubled as a bench.
You can kind of see some of the stuff on the walls here. Not entirely.
Tapestries were used a lot as wall coverings to warm up rooms. The illustrations usually depicted historical moments such as great battles or biblical scenes.
Yep. Now, it is showing... Now, this is actually very curious. I could have sworn that you couldn't go back out. I am actually... I'm going to test something here and see if we can go down. I honestly don't remember this. Now, to be fair, when you first get up here and you try to turn and look, I believe you don't have an arrow option. Can we go down this? No, that's why. Okay, never mind. I thought I suddenly discovered, oh, maybe there's a whole thing to the game where you can go down to the blacksmith. And no, apparently I just needed to walk one more forward. You are stuck up here. I think quite a few of the time zones will do that, where you kind of hit this point of no return. So if we didn't get the key earlier, you're screwed. You gotta jump back and do it again. Here I thought I found a thing that I wasn't aware of, but see, my memory was correct.
Oh, I can't believe this. I don't know how many times I told the movers the bedspread should be done in taupe. Hey, nice chest.
Hey, nice chest. Hey, it's locked. As far as I know, there's no way to open this, which bothers me. It's like, oh, it's a locked chest. Like, doors are kind of one thing, but like, I want what's inside, man. Or at least I want to know what's in there.
Well, that is actually a pretty nice depiction of a castle under siege. Guess another good example of life imitating art, wouldn't you say? Except for the 20-foot knights, of course.
No. Well, true enough. Maybe they were giants.
You gotta tell him. You gotta tell him. Soylent Gruel is made out of people.
Oh my god.
What lovely candelabras. I wish my brother George was here.
I know that line. I cannot picture what it's from, but I also probably only know that line from Looney Tunes cartoons, I feel like. Anyways, here's the armoire. Armoire. And you can see that if we click it, it just zooms us in on here. Here's the secret compartment where he had his key. Now, I never realized as a kid, having not really read the journals closely enough, I thought this is where you were supposed to use the key, but it never did anything. Having read the journals now, you can see, okay, this is where he hid his key. This is just to show you that, like, it exists. It's a thing. But you don't actually do anything with it. But if you come over this way, based off of Arthur's comment about this tapestry about a besieged castle, and the fact that the journal and the note talked about hiding it with a castle that's being besieged, it even kind of focuses your view on this here when you walk here. Forget the fact that there's a whole clickable thing here. This is the besieged castle. If you click it, there's like a hidden switch behind there. Hitting it multiple times doesn't do anything as far as I know. No commentary about the wine and such that's here. And nothing in the fire for this one. So, now that we've hit the hidden switch that was talked about in the journals and the letter, something might have changed down here now. I say something and I say might, but clearly we know what has changed. Well, at least it has to have, right? Otherwise, what else are we going to do? If we come here and use the key now, and look, hidden ladder. Jumpsuit external light engaged. I forgot that was the thing. Now, we don't know why we're doing this. I know why. But think of it from the perspective of Gage here. Why does this let me take money? In fact, isn't this doing exactly what I'm being basically accused of? I just stole some gold coins. Now, this wouldn't be enough to cause an issue considering how many they're there. But it's just, I know this is for a puzzle later. But for right now, you would almost be like, why can I take this money? Nothing else. Just this money. These are gold coins taken from the hidden storage room of Chateau Guillard. The markings appear to be Arabic. So we don't know why we're taking it right now, but trust me, we need it. Temporal anachronism detected within immediate vicinity. Use evidence chip to locate. So, we're looking for something fishy. Kind of look around. We can zoom in on some objects. This one here. Nope, but we can't open this one, so nothing here. We can zoom in on this a little bit. But, again, nothing we can do with it. It's a small storage room, so there's not much to look around at, but if we were to pull out our evidence biochip, start locating, you can actually see right here. It has to show the whole drawing animation of the sword.
There's no way that jewel was made by medieval hands. It's refracting light from your helmet in an almost perfectly mathematical pattern. It's flawless. I don't know what it is, but it definitely does not belong on that sword.
Source of the ripple documented. Mission complete. You may leave the time zone at your discretion. But before we do, let's look at the evidence that we found. Besides Farnstein's lab, which we already looked at, that was the main one. There were no extra pieces of evidence for that one. But for this one, we found the footprint inappropriate for this era. We've got presence of second time traveler inconsistent with TSA chronologue scanner reports. That's probably just one of the best pieces of evidence. Oops. Don't want to hit the exit. And mathematical perfection of diamond's cut impossible for this time period. So, reviewing that, I don't think any of those gave us any research points. It's always kind of good to just review any of the evidence you have anyways. So, we're starting to stack together something here. And again, we've now confirmed the presence of another time traveler. We don't know who still yet, but clearly something is off here. And with that, we are done with Chateau Guillard. Let's go ahead and make a save. This will be the end of Part 5. And with that, we have 2 time zones down, 2 more to go. The next one that we're going to go to is going to be Da Vinci Studio. We're going to save the Chichen Itza for last. You kind of have to, for reasons that we'll see. But anyways, we'll go ahead and call this one here. So in the next video, we'll head on over to Da Vinci Studio, and we'll check out what's going on over there. So, I'll see you then.